Time for another Soccer Down Here 1v1, and this one has ties to the Southeastern Conference. And so I guess we can say officially that the NPSL just means more because New Jersey United Athletic is on the board. And the man in charge of it all, this is where you get to think about your past UGA quarterbacks. The man in charge at New Jersey United, Faton Bauta, blast from the past. Faton, thanks for coming on for a 1v1. This is going to be a treat.
Yeah, thanks for having me, John. I'm excited for it. Thanks for making the time to allow us to have this conversation with you. It's going to be an awesome couple minutes.
Let me ask you this. How did your interest in soccer come about? Were you always a soccer person, even back to the time when you were in Athens and in Fort Collins at Colorado State? Where did your love and interest from soccer come from?
Well, that's the thing, is I wouldn't even say I'm in love just yet. I think I've always just taken a liking to the sport. I think over the years I've just developed a passion for sports themselves. With regards to soccer as a whole, like, when I was in college, I didn't pay any mind to anything that was soccer related besides probably following the U.S. when the World Cup came on and maybe some Euro Cup games when that was on. But other than that, soccer has been something that has been ingrained in the culture that is my background, which is I'm of Albanian descent, and I know they play a lot of soccer over there. But in America, for us, being a first generation American here, we played American football since I can remember, and that's what my life was. But soccer, I think, is a beautiful sport. There's a reason why it's an international sport, which obviously has that leg up against football. But as I've been involved in the community within youth sports and what have you around the Monmouth County area in New Jersey, I've been involved with a lot of people that are involved with soccer and worked with them to help just bring sports to the community. And they've taught me a lot about it, and I've just taken a little bit more of a liking to it. So it seems like a great game to be part of. And with regards to soccer and the U.S., it seems like that soccer is on the come up. And it also just seemed like a good opportunity to get involved with, creating that mission for us as an organization.
For those that may not have followed every step of the path, you were the D1 quarterback in the NCAA. Then after that, you go on and you coach at a couple of places, and then you go into the private sector. You go into real estate, sports consulting, all of those things, and that brings us up to date with where you are now. When it came to this idea of putting New Jersey United Athletic Club on the board, how much thought went into this and consultation? How much blood, sweat, and tears and toil and trouble went into this idea to have NJUAC as a part of what you do on a daily basis?
I think it was just a culmination of everything. I think after my coaching career, I started to just have a passion, or more so a curiosity, for what makes teams or businesses and what have you successful, right? And I did that study actually in college, and then when I got out into the real world and I started coaching, I realized coaching college football or just football in general wasn't for me. Still had a passion for football itself, but then I just saw where my life would be going, and I was like, I don't know if that's going to work for me. So I made an adjustment. Then that COVID year happened, and I ended up just jumping into real estate. We have a real estate family office, and I just jumped in because they needed a couple set of hands. Obviously, COVID threw everybody for a loop. And then, next thing you know, I'm learning about multifamily real estate in New York. And on top of that, building a team for our office. Learned a ton through that process and continuing to learn through that. And then, you take that and my love for sports and, to put them together. And then we created that consulting that you see we started up, and that was really more so quarterback training. Then it turned into training some receivers and then running backs, and then turned into doing some camps and clinics, and then all of a sudden just involved in the community and youth sports. And that's where I just started to fall in love with just sports in general. And I said, it would be pretty cool if, we can tie this all together some way where you take business and sports and put it together. And then we learn about the NPSL, some other, semi-professional leagues that exist in the U.S. Then we learned just a little bit more about the the soccer pyramid. Then we learned about maybe diversifying our portfolio some. And here we are. And then what happened was we, just not, I just started to think, just see what was on my mind, on my heart. And I said, you know what, if I'm going to do this, I've never shied away from creating any sort of, lofty, big goals that kind of scare you. So I went for something that, scares me. And this is that thing where we decided if we're going to do this, let's make as big of a splash as we can. And what we thought to ourselves was what's really missing in this community. And we just said, well, a very serious, sports team, first-class sports organization that belongs to New Jersey, to the people of New Jersey. And so we decided to make our goal the team that unites New Jersey. And that's what we want to do, step by step, day by day. And it's not going to be easy. But first, that starts with the community. And, in order for us to get the support of the community, we have to get the support of the community. We have to support the community first in hopes that they would, return the favor in some stretch of the imagination. But then that goes to say that we want to bring something to New Jersey that they've never had, right? And it's going to take all of us to get there. And we're not going to shy away from asking the people of New Jersey to be part of this process with us, and to create, a team, a sports organization that they could be proud of and say this belongs to us, and not have to drive, an hour north to see, a team that belongs to New York, or drive an hour south to see a team that belongs to Philadelphia. So, Pennsylvania. But to bring something that, is closer to home and really in the central part of New Jersey. So we're looking forward to the challenge, and looking forward to growing not just our organization, but the awareness of soccer and the great game of soccer, and to, be part of the NPSL and growing their mission to bring a better product of soccer to all of, to the entire U.S. as a whole.
I know that we all have our ways to keep track of things, and we all have our lists. And this is a question that I like to ask across the board when we have folks who are starting a new venture. And I will readily admit that I have probably 4 separate places where I have a list, and I'm making sure that if I'm on my desk in the office, I've got 2 here, one that has far more messier words than the other. I've got the one on the fridge that if I have something at 2:30 in the morning, I write down an idea and make sure that I don't forget it. Like if I'm going for water in the middle of the night, I'll write down the idea, and then I'll look back at it in the morning when I come back down for breakfast, and I'll go, what was I writing there? Or it's like on one of those 5-foot by 10-foot wide white dry erase boards that's got all of these markers and lines and ideas and everything else. It could be a Word doc on your phone. You sit there, you write something, you jam the stylus back in. Where is your to-do list, or are there multiple to-do lists now when it comes to this project? And since you're beginning play this season, and it's a pretty quick turnaround to get ready for the 2024 year in the NPSL, what do you think the next thing is that you can cross off of that list to get you ready to play in the NPSL in short order?
Yeah, great question. And to answer part of it is all of my stuff is on that 5x10 whiteboard that you explained. And I actually have in my office an entire wall that's actually the physicality of the room itself. That is the entire whiteboard. So I painted that on about a year ago. And so now I have an entire wall in my 25% of my office is dedicated towards the whiteboard where all of my ideas and everything in my brain goes, so I can keep track of it. So that's to answer that question. And then now the next thing that we have to cross off for us is we've crossed off the head coach. We got him. We have our assistant. We got him. That's Coach Faton Bauta out of NJIT in Newark, and then Sam Roca, who's the head coach at St. Joseph's of Metuchen in New Jersey. Really think we lucked out with those guys, and they've done a great job thus far of recruiting players and getting the word out there. And we're lucky to have them, and we're excited to work with them. But the next thing is to get players and to spread awareness about our team, our organization, our mission, and getting the first set of New Jersey United players to get our organization started and to be part of our inaugural season this spring and summer of 2024. And that's the next thing. So we got to go get that first group of guys that's gonna have a tall task to make an impact quick. But with the coaches we have and their backgrounds, I think we'll get lucky and get the pieces we need to make an impact right away.
I know that you're looking for a specific kind of individual that will represent NJUAC in the right way. On the field, off the field, whether it is someone who's there on a game day to help out with ops, someone who's wearing the jersey out there on the field. And you mentioned that you've got the coaches that are there on the touchline when it comes to philosophy and such. So when it comes to those kinds of individuals that you are looking for from a personality standpoint, from a professionalism standpoint, what kind of individuals are you looking for that you know will help this launch and go the right direction and take those right steps out of the blocks here in 2024?
Yeah, great question, John. And the best way I can answer this for you is in two sets of characteristics. The first set of characteristics would be just like who they are as people, as humans, right? Their personality traits. They have to be genuine. They have to be transparent. And simply put, they just have to be hardworking, right? And when I say hardworking, I mean somebody that understands that in this life, you got to give more than you get, right? And to do something like this and to start it from scratch, we're gonna have to surround ourselves and bring those people those types of people around us to help get this where we want it to go. And now the second set of traits of what you asked for comes from now, let's say, the competitive aspect of these humans, right? Competitively, what do I want them to look like, right? Obviously, they got to have some sort of tenacity about them, right? A grit about them, and just a basic, call it thoughtfulness or mindfulness of being a teammate, right? Because now, if in the future, if we're going to ask our team to do something, right, the people that are in charge and the people that are behind the scenes, the staff and support, administrative staff, game day staff, what have you, everybody has to feel and see those same characteristics, right? So if I want a competitive team, I got to have a competitive staff, right? Where they want to do better the next game, they want to put on a better performance the next game, right? They improve, right? They take coaching. And if I want to have a good team, they got to communicate well, right? So if I want my team to communicate well, I have to communicate well with our staff, right? Our staff has to communicate well with each other, right? Administrative staff has to communicate well with coaching staff. Coaching staff has to communicate well with teammates, right? And the cycle goes, right? But that's what we're looking for with regards to individuals, right? And we want our team to be surrounded with those types.
And you're going to be playing in Holmdel as a part of the environment that you're going to be setting up here in 2024. What have you been able to glean in your experiences about what soccer means to the section of New Jersey that you are trying to bring in under the tent here? How is it a part of the fabric, and what have you been able to learn as you are in serious like of the sport going forward here? What have you been able to learn about what the sport means to that part of New Jersey?
John, can you just clarify your question when you say glean? I'm not really too sure how you mean in glean.
No, just what have you been able to what's been when you have this and it you've been able to take in when you're out in the community, the vibes that you're getting, when it comes to observations or conversations, those kinds of things. What have you been able to take in with all of your observations and all the conversations about what soccer means to be a part of the fabric there in New Jersey?
Yeah, I guess I'll tell you this much. I never knew how much soccer was already kind of intertwined, interwoven into the community that is New Jersey. I didn't realize that there was such a big world of it. What I'm happy to say is we've been getting really an oversupply of just support and outreach, and people wanted to be part of it, which really took me by surprise. But we're so grateful for it, and we're hopeful that we can utilize it, and use everybody that wants to help us in the best of ways. But I think what I've learned is there's definitely a nice place for soccer, and I think that there's a good place for New Jersey United in New Jersey to make their stand, and to make an impact in the community. And we're just happy that life's about timing, right, John? So it's not, nobody's a genius, but sometimes you come up with an idea, you get it going, and you bet on yourself. You put the pieces in motion, and you just hope that it can reach as far as you want it to go. But like I said, this is going to be something that's going to be driven by the people within the community, and that's how we're going to set it up. Because as far as they want it to go, we'll make it go. But like I said, the biggest thing I've learned is soccer is here in New Jersey. It has a strong supporting cast, and has a strong fan base already, just by the people that either watch it overseas or are part of it here. And all we want to do is, if they will allow us to be part of that community, and to bring to light the great game of soccer, and to bring to light the league, and to bring to light hopefully a beautiful product that we want to put on the field as New Jersey United.
As the quarterback of this particular project, I guess it's safe to say that, has your phone blown up? Do you have unlimited national and international minutes, talk and text? What has the response been like since this has come on board? What has your phone blown up from, like, Neptune or something like that? What's it been like, the response, and folks that want to be a part of this?
Yeah, and that was part of the support that I told you, that the overwhelming amount of support we've been getting since we initiated our start with the league. And yeah, it's been blowing up. I got people in my family, cousins, extended friends saying, like, what's this? What's going on? Why didn't you tell me? And I'm just like, well, I was too busy trying to get it going, and we've really gotten a lot of support from, I would like to say, just even those, like, parents that are involved in soccer, those youth academy heads that are involved in soccer, even just people that just are involved in youth sports, saying, "Oh, this is awesome! Let us know how we can help." And a lot of that comes from just my connection with people in the community. So it's been, like I said, it's been a majority of those people that are just want to come help, want to be part of the NPSL. Want to be part of a new team, and to take what they, like, the experiences they have, and implement it into our system. And so we're taking all the advice as it comes. We're taking everybody's 2 cents and experience, and all we're doing is trying to put it together to make the best decisions moving forward.
You're in the North Atlantic Conference. You're going to be going up against Hartford City, Kingston Stockade, New York Shocker, Syracuse, and Vallejo. How much do you know about these other franchises? Have you reached out to them to get advice? Because I know that the ownership group in Kingston has been very vocal about investment and being a part of the growth of the sport. Have you reached out? What do you know? What do you know about your opponents in the schedule coming up this year?
Yeah, good question. And with my football background, I think my coaches would be disappointed to hear that I'm really not that prepared in that sense at all. But the good news is, we just had a meeting for our league a couple of days ago. I was able to just get introduced to the guys. I've spoken to the coach with Syracuse FC, and the representative for the Kingston Stockade, and one of the, I guess, owners or partners with Hartford City. And they've really just been super supportive. They've offered their helping hands. Everybody's extended their arms out in help and assistance to get us going. And when it comes to even scheduling these games, everybody's just so willing to help one another, which is great, making it really just very easy. But I do know that all of these teams have been around. They've established themselves in the NPSL, and they have a great product. And I feel blessed to be in this league, and in this conference of the North Atlantic, because if they're all really good, we're going to have to measure up rather quickly, and I think drinking from the fire hose is something that I'm very accustomed to. And I think that just kind of it'll help us accelerate our growth as an organization, whether that's the product on the field or how they're presenting their game day events. we'll be able to take. We're going to take this year, obviously, to, create our foundation. Obviously, everything's about winning and losing, but I think we have to focus on what we have to focus on, and not so much about who we're playing, because we have other challenges in front of us that we have to solidify as an organization. Obviously, not just the way I like to say it is this: it's not about placing bricks. It's also about knowing how you. It's about knowing the intention behind how you're placing the brick, right? So, just like anything else in this world, it seems like nowadays everything is. I'm in real estate. Everything seems like it just goes up within a year's time. It doesn't matter how big or small the structure, right? It's just like years ago, it used to take tens of years, 20 years to put up any sort of structure. Right now, with technology and information, right, and data, we've been able to speed up that process. And it's the same thing. And when you build just like how you build anything, right? You want to start with a great foundation, and something like this. And being real estate people, we're long-term holders, long-term investors, right? And we don't think there's any business that we're going to invest into that we're thinking today for tomorrow, right? So we want to focus on just placing each brick with intention correctly. And if it's messed up, then we got to worry about that brick first, and set the standard and the expectations for our organization first. And then once we do that and we're comfortable with where we are at as an organization, then we can move forward and start to focus on who's in front of us, how are we going to beat them, how are we going to match them, and get the upper hand at the end of the day when the 90 minutes is over. So one thing at a time, John, to answer your question. But right now we're focusing on just a lot of organizational things at once, and then when the time comes, we'll make sure we have a plan of attack to attend to every one of our opponents each week.
Quarterback of the NJ United AC project, New Jersey United Athletic Club, one of the new clubs in the NPSL. Faton Bauta. Folks remember him from UGA. Folks remember him in the Mountain West with Colorado State. And now it's about soccer in the NPSL. Facebook, in New Jersey United AC, at NJ United AC on Facebook and Instagram and the 280-character app. As always, great to catch up with you. And I know folks in the SEC are going to sit there and look at this and go, yes, him, exactly who it is. Great to see what's going on with you and the growth up there in the Northeast. And we'll keep an eye on what's going on there in Homedale, New Jersey this season in the NPSL. Thanks for hanging out for a 1v1.
John, I appreciate your time. Thanks for the opportunity. Go United.